All right, so I'm hoping you can see this okay. We ended the last video with us going to refill the water jug for the Cerec peimemill here. We have an old filter that we're using today that I've just cleaned out, and you do that just by spraying water in the bottom there, which I can show you in the next video. Essentially, our water holder is all cleaned out. Sponges look relatively clean. This just clips in actually, just by pressure fitting around that little black area underneath. You want to make sure it's a nice tight seal so you don't get any of the dust in the lines of the water unit. What I'll do now is I will mix a couple things. So we have the Dentatec oil, which is just found below here. And what we'll do is we're going to mix this into the distilled water so that it's ready to go to lubricate the machine. So there's actually a little measuring cup, which I'll just pull out so I can show you. Just below here. This little measuring cup. This is like a cup you give to a sick child if they need to take cough syrup, and it has 2 different doses on there. We're going to use the top of the 2 doses. I'll bring it close so you can see it here. Let's see. Get it to focus. It says 50 milliliters at the top there. We're going to fill that up. I like to put it down on a level surface just to make sure it's the correct amount. I will put the oil back underneath here for next time. And what I'll do actually is remove the filter. And I'll just dump that oil in. I'm trying not to get it onto that little black foam pad inside. I just want it beside that, so it'll be actually mixed in with the water. So to do that, I usually tip. I know I'm tipping away from you here. Let's see if I can spin it around and do it the other way. There we go. And I will just dump that into the corner. Let the whole thing drain in there. It comes out a bit slow. It's pretty viscous. I'll put the cup back just so I don't lose it. Then I'll push down the filter. Make sure it clips in. And then the next step of this is just to use distilled water. So we'll show you that. Distilled water. You need to use distilled water. You can't use tap water for this. It'll clog your lines. It'll cause problems with the machine. And there is a line just there. You can probably see it in the video here. But we're just going to fill up to that line. And you can put this right over top of the filter. The idea here is we're just adding water until we get that line. It's not a full 4-liter jug. I call it about 3.5 or so to that line. Got a little bit more to go here. There we go. So that's good for me. So you'll see there's always a little bit left in the jugs. I save them just down here and we'll use it for the next application. The last step here is with the lid, and again we're going to just check to make sure it's all working. Now that we have it off, and it does, it just needs to essentially push down when you are using it, and you can see a little light gap in between. So I'm just going to screw that on, just hand tight. There's a tool as well. Let me see if I can find that tool for you. So I can show you what it looks like. You don't typically use it. There it is. And you can use this to tighten it down if you want to, and essentially it just clips on over top. I think it's actually this side, but you can test with it, you can clip with it, you can rotate with it to tighten. I just find it's an extra process and don't really need it. So it'll be under here, just below where we're working, if you do need it. But I will just bring you a bit closer here so you can see. I am essentially just hand tightening, making sure it's still working, and we are good to go. I'll give this a very light shake. Keep in mind that there's a plug there that could come out if you shake it too vigorously, just to get that oil kind of dispersed into the water a little bit better. And then for the last step here, which I'll just move this camera over so you guys can see. You get a look at the beautiful machine as well. Set this bipod up there. We're going to slide this in so that it's all ready to go. So essentially at the back of the unit, there is a little valve. It's actually, oh, sorry, it's right here. I'll just show you on the camera there. So it goes in that valve would face towards the machine. So in this orientation, there's a handle in the front and that black piston which will clip into the machine. I just put it onto the rails there. Bring it up so you can see. There's little rails underneath this. And I will just clip it in with one push, nice and firmly. You can see those little rails, little black sticking out. There's some felt tape on them just to keep everything quiet while the machine is working, I believe, to help it slide. And that is finished. So then I'll close the machine. And the last step here is just to indicate that you have changed the water. So the icon in the bottom left, and it's going to say water tank. We just have to go change, confirm. It'll give us 7 days. And replace the filter, confirm. It'll give us 30 days. And that is the step of changing the water tank.